Welcome back, everybody, to episode 4 of Eat the Bugs. Rings of Power, of course. Sorry, no Freudian slip there. If you've not seen my videos covering the previous episodes, as always, you'll find them linked in the pinned comment down below. And talking of the comments, I'm happy to say that Eat the Bugs was indeed the top comment when I went to check the first video. Your overlords will be thrilled to hear just how enthusiastic you all are about eating the bugs. And I wanted to start today by taking a look at the reviews of this show on Amazon Prime, because surely it's going to be an incredibly reliable barometer as to just how poo-poo caca the show is, or isn't. I mean, come on. Amazon wouldn't interfere with reviews of their own show on their own platform, would they? He says, facetiously, knowing full well that they absolutely would. And blow me down, 57%, more than half of the people who reviewed the show on Amazon gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. That's so strange, because almost everyone I've spoken to about this show has had the complete opposite opinion of that. And then pretty much everyone who saw the trailer for season 2 had the opposite opinion to that as well. Guys, this is so strange. But if I could direct your attention to the bottom of this graph, where you'll see a little prompt with a drop-down arrow that reads, "How are ratings calculated?" And when you click on that drop-down, you're greeted with this little ditty. To calculate the overall star ratings and percentage breakdown by star, we don't use a simple average. That's odd, because that sounds like such a simple solution to me. What do I know? Instead, our systems consider things like how recent a review is. How recent? What's that got to do with anything? You're too late! I simply cannot believe you! Instead, our system considers things like how recent a review is, and if a reviewer bought the item on Amazon. And here's the kicker. It also analyzes reviews to verify trustworthiness. If you'd humor me for a moment, let's just say, hypothetically, that Amazon goes out and spends more than $1 billion acquiring the rights to something and then developing a TV show about it. Completely hypothetical, of course. And then someone comes along, watches said thing, and decides to review it. They say, do you know what? I don't really like this $1 billion thing. It's not very good. Then Amazon could say, do you know what? I don't trust this review. And could then, completely hypothetically, of course, silently delete that review so that no one ever sees it. No, they'd never do anything like that. And I've got to say, and this is definitely nothing to do with the previous postulation, the number of reviews seems a little fishy, to say the least. The most expensive show ever made, and you only get 197 reviews. For reference, Stickman has 6.4 times more reviews than Dem Rings a Pow, and more favourable reviews, I might add. Over $1 billion spent, and you can't even beat Stickman.
But if you look in terms of dollars, $3 billion, $533 million, $525 million, that's peanuts for you.
But enough about Amazon's totally legitimate reviewing system, and let's get on to the show itself. So, here goes, Season 2, Episode 4, and it kicks off with Galadriel, who seems to have been taken down a peg by Elrond, and Elrond would know a thing or two about pegging.
At the High King's urging, I agreed to appoint you as First Lieutenant.
So, she's been offered the shiny new rank of First Lieutenant, which is, going by British Army ranks, 2 ranks below what she was originally as a commander, which would be the equivalent of a Lieutenant Colonel.
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees. You missed some trash over there, honey.
That's the equivalent of your boss coming to you and saying, "Hey, do you fancy getting paid less?" And you turning around and saying, "I sure do." And we now catch up with not Gandalf, who definitely is Gandalf, who seems to be struggling to tell the difference between his Harfoot friend Nori and a goat.
Nori?
Silly man, but not quite as silly as the man he's about to bump into.
See, you found the goat.
Oh, it's Tom Bombadil! And if you didn't know, Tom Bombadil is the first and final being of Middle-earth, an all-powerful yet comically apathetic soul, possibly some form of god, and completely uninterested and unaffected by any and all matters pertaining to the One Ring. And most brilliantly, he's everything, but at the same time, he is utterly unimportant. Tom Bombadil simply is. Everyone always asks who is Tom Bombadil, but never how is Tom Bombadil. That's not my joke. And let's not forget that Amazon are professional character assassins, so I can't imagine that Mr. Bombadil is going to be faring too well in this series. I mean, what could they possibly do? Probably like a rap battle, maybe, with Old Man Willow. I don't know. Well, there's Old Man Willow, I guess, except they've called him Old Man Ironwood. Maybe a little copyright thing there, but in the books, Tom Bombadil saves Merry and Pippin from Old Man Willow. Only this time we've hot-swapped the hobbits for Gandalf, and we've had it happen 1,500 years sooner than it should do, so we're all on board.
Poppy! Get up!
There is no way the Harfoot survived the fall. If I could just refresh your memories from one of the previous episodes. Not only did they survive that, but they also landed on the hard desert floor, and they're completely unscathed. Not even a twisted ankle. In fact, they're so fine, they then immediately throw themselves off a cliff. Nothing. Not even a scratch. I don't know what these Harfoots are made out of, but whatever it is, it's more dense than the writers of this show.
Where'd you lot come from?
What is that?
Where'd you come from?
Wait, you not just stood on top of a cliff? How the hell did you not just see homeless South Asian Rod Stewart coming? What is this creature?
Harfoots live here.
What's an Harfoot?
Well, you are.
Is he?
Doesn't anybody call you somebody?
Well, my mum calls me Merry Mac.
So if you didn't know, Amazon acquired the rights to The Fellowship, Two Towers, Return of the King, The Appendices, and The Hobbit, but not The Silmarillion or The Unfinished Tales, and it would appear that they're just plucking out names from wherever they can legally. The name Merrimack comes from the Brandybuck family tree that can be found within the Appendices and belongs to a hobbit who lived in the Shire, not a bloke who lived in the middle of the desert, but whatever. Amazon gonna Amazon, I guess.
I'm Poppy. It doesn't seem natural.
That's because we're not Harfoots. We're Stoors.
Ah, fabulous. We've got yet another breed of hobbit, the Stoors, who, very much like their other hobbity counterparts, are known for having lived in the Vales of Anduin, a place famous for being nowhere near Rune. That is, until they migrated west, a place that's famous for being even further from Rune.
This friend of yours, who is he anyways?
He's a giant.
Like an elf?
Bigger than that.
Oh, so he's a great big grand elf.
Do you get it, guys? Because it sounds like Gandalf. Grand elf, Gandalf. Well, we're back with Tom Bombadil, who is singing questionable songs.
Down west sinks the sun, soon you will be groping.
Not Gandalf, who is definitely Gandalf, is having a bath. Tom Bombadil singing about groping, and we're all just having a really good time, right, guys? Okay, all right.
Tom was there before the river and the trees.
Well, that's just beautiful. Good for you, Tom, for being there for that. But apparently, he wasn't there for his West Country vocal lesson.
Tom remembers the first raindrop and the first acorn.
The first acorn. Yes, very convincing. But we now join Elrond and co., who are currently trying to fight off a band of Barrow-wights.
According to law, only the blades with which they were buried will return such creatures to rest.
The irony that listening to the law is what allows Elrond to find a way to defeat the Barrow-wights. You can't make this stuff up. If the lives of every character in this show was dependent on people listening to the law and paying attention to it, they'd all be dead within the first episode. Oh no, it would appear that Theo is trapped inside an impenetrable tree prison that he couldn't possibly definitely escape from by just climbing out. Whatever is he going to do? But at least he's not in a position as bad as Arondir and Isildur, who have somehow found themselves in an episode of The Witcher. And I would complain about that, but even The Witcher is more accurate to Tolkien's lore than The Rings of Power is, so, you know, could be worse, I guess.
What was that?
There are nameless things in the deep places of this world.
Deep places, you say? That thing was hanging around in a puddle about that far from the surface. But, yeah, no, sure, no. Very deep, very scary.
Forgiveness doesn't come to folk like me.
I won't let them cost you out.
Then we meet an unhinged Entwife.
They are no different from them. Bowing, uprooting, branch breakers and trunk splitters.
Oh boy, that tree finna get her some of them rings of power. She tripping.
Estrid! Estrid!
I can't believe you're here.
First he's simping, and now he just gets straight cucked. They have done a sealed door very dirty with this one. And so continue the coincidental plot lines. Whilst the elves are scouting an incoming army of orcs, another group of orcs who are off hunting in the woods just randomly happen to fire an arrow that just happens to hit an elf, and when everyone turns around to retaliate, none of the orcs spot them. It literally just serves as a ooh moment.
Bro, I'm straight up not having a good time.
Then, with the power of a ring, Galadriel then magics out the arrow from inside the injured elf, which is not really what it does, but whatever. And it does beg the question why she didn't use the ring's real power, which is that it has the ability to conceal you from evil. Seems like that might have been a slightly better thing to go with, you know, considering you're surrounded by orcs. That might have been quite nice.
Where's the rest?
I stand alone.
And now it's Morbin time, because Warrior Galadriel is back. Woohoo! Literally, no one asked for that. And there's just an army of orcs. She's surrounded by orcs, but they're just standing there doing nothing.
She sacrificed herself to save us all.
I don't know if you need to worry about her, mate. Her plot armor is thick. Oh my god, you can literally just see them standing there doing nothing, apart from looking slightly orcish, like...
Now let the song begin.
Wait, what?
Let us sing together of sun,
What is happening?
stars, moon and mist, rain and cloudy weather.
And with that, I'll see you next week for episode 5. I'm sure you're as excited as I am to see that. Yeah, I'll see you then. Okay. What the fuck? And as always, a big shout out to the patrons and the channel members we have here for you. The top tiers, these are the Knights of Lore. We have Michael Turpia, Posabon, Flunky, Daggerty69, nice, Jax, Koss, Michael Myson, Texas Lawman, ATS, St. Nemo, Steve the Goat, the Grand Admiral, Jordan96, and Patrick Coyne. And then also a big thank you to all of the tier 2s and also the tier 1s as well. To everyone on this list, you allow me to continue doing what it is that I definitely enjoy doing, even if it is Rings of Power. I do enjoy doing it. Yeah, I really do appreciate it. Thank you ever so much, guys. I'll see you in the next one. And there we go. Another day, another video. But will you join me for my next one? You better do, you little bitch. But until then, take care, and I'll see you very soon.